We are free of the swamp, at last. And look, perhaps that road will take us to Stonebridge.
I thought I might find you here on this road. Did you think you could escape Lescanzi vengeance?
Do you want revenge? And why is that?
You slaughter us by the score, butcher us like animals, and you dare to ask why? I am Svarbog, son of Zarya the Witch, who died at your hand. You will answer for her death, and for the deaths of all my kin.
Be ready. And be judged.
Legionnaire, I'm instructed to treat you with tepid disdain and mistrust. Your nation, faction, race, or institution has a negative history in our city. Local constables will keep you under careful observation. Please state the nature of your visit to our fair city.
There's no need for the hostility. We're here on Legion business.
The official census indicates that 0 citizens in Stonebridge are registered members of the 10th Legion. Perhaps you are in the wrong city? Regardless of your reasons, Stonebridge is open to the public. You are free to go, unless you require further assistance.
What sort of assistance does a talking construct provide?
I am a constable model automaton. I provide peacekeeping support, navigational assistance, and feline wrangling services.
Tell me more about this city.
Just ask the Stonebridge Chamber of Commerce and Tourism. This city is a beacon of innovation, commerce, and technology. Marvel at the elaborate system of gears that power the city. Behold our markets of plentiful goods. Inhale non-fatal doses of smog. Stonebridge is home to men and goblins dedicated to freedom and self-reliance. It is also home to thousands of feral housecats.
We're looking for the Grand Chapter House.
The Grand Chapter House is located on the south side of the Central Plaza. It is officially vacant, but some treasure seekers have gone inside. They have not come back out.
We'll be on our way.
Be advised, causing a disturbance may result in fines, detainment, bodily harm, or death. Enjoy your stay.
How many fingers would you say a person really needs? Oh, no reason.
Many legionnaires were killed in this city 30 years ago. I am not sure how they'll receive us.
We don't want any trouble with the Legion. This city's been prosperous these 30 years. We want to keep it that way.
New in town? By the looks of you, you aren't here to buy my simple wares. Perhaps you can help me. I need someone who isn't afraid of a little danger.
What sort of help do you need?
I'm expecting a shipment of clothing, and the caravan is late. It's not exactly bars of gold, but silk is pricey enough to tempt thieves. Out east of the city, there's a camp of Lascanzi, deserters from Jane Cassinder's army. They're looting every caravan that passes by. I'm not the only merchant waiting for that shipment. I need someone to scare off those thieves. Or kill them, if need be.
Don't worry. We'll make sure the road is clear.
Your wagons will be safe, and your drivers as well.
Thank you. I will, of course, make this worth your while. The thieves are camped near the road, east of the city, not far from the swamp. Good luck to you. I'll await your return. My supplies arrived. Thank you, my friends. Here's half of what I stood to lose had you not helped me.
Good sir, no doubt there is a special lady in your life. You would do well to invest in a gift of gemstones. She will pay you back. Whatever your price range or preference, Pratt's Jewelers can satisfy your needs.
It was a long time ago, but I wonder if anyone survived the attack on this place. Our weapons are not strong enough to kill them. causeway gate, just as Odo said. Now we can bring the others here. Strange. These causeways have a quiet beauty to my eyes.
Anjali, take the causeway back to Rukkenval. Tell Odo and Martin that we've reclaimed the chapter house and bring them back here.
In the old Legion, the role of herald was an honor, especially when the news was good. I'll go at once, and I'll guide them safely back.
This place. It hasn't changed so much.
We heard rumors of a battle in the swamp. Royalists against Jane Cassinder. What news? You weren't caught up in any trouble, I hope.
The rumors of a battle were true. Most of the royal army are dead, but we met their general, a man called Devonsey.
Devonsey? You're sure that was his name?
30 years ago, Finn Devonsey was one of us. Master of the Legion chapter house in Glacier. And he called himself by a different name. A Legion name.
He called himself by another name? What was it?
Bohemond. An old and respectable name. He wasn't born to the Legion, so he took the name after he joined. My father knew him. Spoke well of him.
When the Legion was accused of murdering the king, Devonsey renounced his vows and quit the Legion. Insisted that the charges were true. Stubborn man, strong conscience, best tactical mind in the Legion, too.
Devonsey turned his back on the Legion. We can't be expected to take him back.
He turned away from his brothers and sisters in their moment of need. Do we want such a man at our side?
No, perhaps not. But he'd still be useful as an ally.
If we seal an alliance with the royal court, we prove that Ebb has a future. People would rally behind us. Last I heard, the Queen had retreated to the Glitterdelve mine.
That's where Jane will be going, too. If she gets her hands on the Queen, our war is lost.
How do we know that the Royalists will talk to us?
We don't. They probably still believe that the Legion murdered the old king.
Odo's right. They may be wary of us, but we have truth on our side.
Devonsey mentioned the Queen more than once. What's her name?
Roslin. She'd be, 17 years old by now? Last of the royal line. Jane Cassinder would like nothing better than to capture the girl. With Roslin caught or dead, resistance dries up and Stonebridge stands alone.
What's the fastest road to Glitterdelve?
Glitterdelve Mine is a long march from here, many days on foot. Take the causeway instead. The Legion had an outpost not far from the mines. Must have been a causeway there, too, and I doubt the gate was ever sealed.
We'll try to find the royal court then. Is there anyone else who might join us?
The Meisters, the merchant lords of Stonebridge. They'd be powerful friends.
Friends? These people believe Jane's lies. They murdered our brothers and sisters. No reason to think they'll embrace us now.
No reason to think they won't, if we show ourselves worthy of trust. At least the Meisters could tell us if any legionnaires survived.
So the Meisters govern Stonebridge. Are they nobility?
Nobility? Far from it. They're the richest men in the city. Merchants, bankers, bureaucrats. Stonebridge calls itself a republic now. Ever since the old king died, and the people drove out the last Lord Mayor.
Stonebridge has an army of automatons, and it hasn't been touched by war. The Meisters would make for stronger allies.
Up to you. Martin and I will trust in your decision, and we'll be here if you need us.
do not litter or excrete in alleyways. Please spend your currency at local markets.
You there. You could use a better weapon. I can fold steel, craft a flintlock, or make whatever exotic weapon you desire.
Isn't it just dreadful? They've locked up an innocent creature. This is an outrage.
You seem pretty upset about this.
If the Krug didn't do anything criminal, it has the same rights as a human or goblin. You can always judge a society by how it treats its downtrodden.
Have you thought the Krug might be safer behind bars?
My children would be safer if I locked them in the basement, but I wouldn't dream of doing that.
I should be going. Thanks for your time.
Carry on. Spread the word. Free the Krug.
Rejoice! The Meisters have concluded their session and the hall is now open to the rabble. Apologies. The preferred term is public.
Ah, half a minute there. You came from the chapter house, did you not? Tell me, is it true? Has the Legion returned?
Only a few of us. But yes, we've reclaimed the old chapter house.
Ha! Let them laugh at me now! Meister Wolf, with his silly dreams of radiant children and prophecies of the Legion's return.
Are any legionnaires still living in Stonebridge?
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid not. Jane and her mobs were quite thorough. That whole affair was a mark of shame upon our city. Be assured that I took no part in that travesty, nor did my father, or anyone else who bears the name Wolf.
You had a dream of a golden-haired child? A boy?
Precisely so. Not a fortnight past. I dreamt that I saw a golden-haired boy standing at my bedside. He bade me get up and follow him.
Tell me the rest of your dream.
The boy led me through the city square, then up to the chapter house gate. Only, it wasn't dark and abandoned, as it's been for so long. It was clean and bright. Lion banners snapping in the breeze. Gates open wide, as if expecting the Legion's return. Then I awoke, and there I was, standing in my underclothes, in the middle of the street, gawking at the ruins of the chapter house. A child's idea of a joke, I dare say. Still, I knew it was more than a dream.
You saw the radiant youth? Are you descended from the Legion?
Wish I were, but no. My father was a merchant, and his father as well. If I'd had any Legion blood, I dare say I'd have been killed with the rest of them 30 years back.
I'm here to address the Meisters. We want to propose an alliance against Jane Cassinder.
An alliance? That'll be tricky business. I can force them to give you a hearing, at least. I'll warn you, though, they're scared. Scared of Jane Cassinder and her armies. Scared that we'll lose our republic if she takes the city by force. And scared of other things, too.
The Meisters are scared of something else. Something inside the city?
No, forget I spoke of it. The other Meisters will know you've been talking to mad old Wolf with his secrets and conspiracies, and that won't win you any friends on the council.
I'm ready to address the Meisters.
Capital! I shall go on ahead and announce you. We'll await you inside. Gentlemen and goblins, order! Council recognizes the envoy from the 10th Legion.
Meister Wolf tells us that you propose an alliance. A grave matter indeed. Perhaps our colleague forgot to emphasize how deeply we value our neutrality.
A war with Jane Cassinder would risk the very life of our republic. What do we gain by siding with the Legion?
For 30 years, we've known nothing but civil war. Help us bring order to Ebb. We were one people, one nation. We can be so again.
A chance to redeem our city's name. An honorable cause to take.
Nonetheless, you can understand why some in the city might fear the Legion's return.
Countless legionnaires were murdered in our streets. People might think that you've come to seek revenge.
Forget the past. Those murders are 30 years gone. We came here to reconcile, not for revenge.
Words alone are unlikely to sway our good citizens. Perhaps if we form a committee, study the problem for several months or a year.
Nonsense! The Legion is no threat. There's far more dangerous things in this city, if you would only open your eyes.
Ah, our colleague again speaks of the dapper old gent, no doubt.
Indeed, sir, I do. You think that the trouble in the foundry is not the work of the gent?
The gent? Who is he?
Our nemesis, our tormentor, his retribution in mortal guise.
Meister Wolf, let us not turn aside from the matter at hand. We owe the Legion our vote.
No, wait. That hardly seems fair. Force a vote now, and it will assuredly go against the Legion. I propose a recess. Let us each speak privately to the legionnaires, so that we can reach an informed and impartial judgment.
How many votes do I need to win your support?
A simple majority will suffice. 3 of 5 votes cast in the Legion's favor. Council declares a recess. We shall reconvene after the Legion envoy has spoken to each of my esteemed colleagues, and all are prepared to render a judgment.
Yes, I was wondering when you'd come and harass me. No doubt you're here to solicit my vote for your organization.
You could at least offer me a proper introduction.
Oh yes, trivialities. I'm Lord Barrister Mudgutter, Director of the Office of Contracts and Patents, Chief Magistrate of Stonebridge. And I have some other random titles with capital letters. I think I'm technically the High Marshal of Top Fermenting Beverages.
Then I trust you're the goblin to talk to if I want the Meister's support.
One of them, yes. I think you'll find that Wolf is very much smitten with the romantic notion of the Legion. The rest of us need convincing.
How can the Legion earn your vote?
Well, you could help me alphabetize court documents, but a better use of your talents would be to help me with an investigation. Normally, I'd have Wolf handle the situation, but it happens to involve a sizable degree of danger, and Wolf is too important to risk.
If this is the price for your support, I accept. Just tell me what you need.
So, the matter at hand. We've had numerous reports of masked individuals hauling automatons into the crypts under the city. Whatever their aim, they are slowly eroding our defenses, and that is intolerable, especially with Jane Cassinder and her army on the loose. If someone was to, enter the crypts and purge them of these criminals, I would owe that person a favor.
Have many of your automatons gone missing?
Only a few have gone missing. More troubling is that a few have returned looking like they were opened and studied.
You said that these crypts are underneath the city?
Indeed. Old records refer to them as the Crypts of the Sacred Blood, a vast network of tunnels extending from the farmlands in the south. With every passing generation, further tunnels are dug. No one has charted them all. The crypt in question is cut off from the rest, thanks to a tunnel collapse some years back, so you needn't fear getting lost.
Consider it done. We'll be back when we've dealt with these criminals.
Well then, if you keep your word, I shall do the same and cast my vote in support of the Legion. Good day.
Greetings, Legionnaire. If you've come to win my vote, don't bother. My mind is made up. Stonebridge will have no entangling alliances. So that's that. Now, if you need some little task to occupy your time, or if you have a question, perhaps I can be of service.
Can you tell me a little about Stonebridge?
Of course! I always have time to talk about our fair city. What do you need to know?
Can you tell me a little about yourself?
I am Professor Fiddlewick, Master of the College. That gives me a permanent seat on the council, so they can't get rid of me, no matter how hard they try. I've been with the college for years. Got here just before the fall of the Legion.
You and the humans seem to coexist quite peacefully. Are there many goblins in Stonebridge?
Ah, yes. This city is quite the achievement of cosmopolitan sensibilities. For more than a century, the goblin presence has grown. The laws of Stonebridge value all sentient life, which is a good thing. Human cuisine plus goblinoid cooking technology equals paradise.
This city has gears on the buildings and automated golems walking the streets as constables. What sort of technology is this?
Well, progress makes unlikely bedfellows. The collegium where I teach is devoted to the study of matter and motion. The many guilds of the city adapted our research to make tools that benefit their trade. One worker now has the output of 3. I worry what this will mean. Not enough jobs, too much power for machine owners. But I digress. These issues don't concern the Legion.
That's all I need to know. I should be going.
Take care now. Welcome back, Legionnaire. What can I do for you today?
Can you tell me a little about Stonebridge?
Of course! I always have time to talk about our fair city. What do you need to know?
That's
Welcome back, Legionnaire. What can I do for you today?
Is there anything else I can do to help the city?
Long ago, the Legion served as the mediator of first and last resort. When an argument ran out of control, the Legion offered counsel.
That's all? I thought you might have wanted us to slay something for you.
Your first task is to handle a situation with a prisoner of ours, a Krug. He has no crimes charged against him, but his fate is disputed. Many argue he's safer in prison. Others want him free. He's here in the Meisterhall's jail. Make your inquiries there, then tell the automaton who presides over the jail what you've decided. It's hardly dragon slaying, but if you're true to the Legion, you'll have time for small matters. Go on now, I've got work to do.
Welcome to the Stonebridge Jail. Do you have business with the incarcerated?
Isn't running a jail a bit complicated for an automaton?
I apologize. plans, but I was not designed to answer questions of a remedial nature. I repeat, do you have business with the incarcerated?
I'd like to speak to the Krug prisoner. Fiddlewick asked me to appraise the situation and determine the Krug's fate.
Very well. It is Meister Fiddlewick's prerogative to entrust such decisions to strangers rather than automated constables with decades of experience. Please note that the Krug has been imprisoned for its own safety. It is highly unpopular with citizens, especially those who own pitchforks.
Krrr.
How did you wind up behind these bars?
Krrr. Krrr.
Can you understand what I'm saying?
Krrr.
Ah, yes. Sorry about that. I've been having a terrible bout of phlegm lately. Yes, I can understand you perfectly. Why wouldn't I? Just promise me you won't do that thing where you talk slower and louder. Krrr. That never works.
You're pretty well spoken for a Krug.
A Krug? Krrr. Yeah, I guess that's what people think I am. I'm human. Just some ill twist of fate made me hideous and homely.
If you're not a Krug, why are you locked up?
I'm tired of being harassed and assaulted. This time I decided I'd let them think I'm a monster and keep me locked up. Krrr. I've thought about getting out of here, but I have nowhere to go. I'm content to just stay here and daydream.
I have to decide whether you stay or go free.
Krrr. Well, I suppose I've committed no crime, unless being hideous is illegal. But if it's all the same to you, I'm safe here. Let them go on thinking I'm a Krug. It won't hurt my feelings. If you let me go, have someone escort me out of the city at least.
Welcome to the Stonebridge Jail. Do you have business with the incarcerated?
I've come to a decision on the Krug.
I will enact whatever outcome you deem appropriate. Please enunciate carefully.
He's no Krug, he's a human. He should be released and given the full rights and protections of a legal citizen.
Very well. The Krug will be set loose and monitored for his protection, until he has integrated with the city or been stoned to death by angry mobs.
Krrr. They sure do throw rocks awful hard.
I wasn't certain that the Legion had truly returned, but after witnessing your resolution of the plight of the oppressed Krug proletariat, it caused a great imbalance in my sanguine humors. Fairly had me bursting with them. Now then, we have much to accomplish. Shall we get started?
What in the world are you talking about?
Oh my, do forgive me. I mistook you for a collegium man. I meant only that it made me proud, whilst at the same time risking distempers of the blood. Now then, much to do, much to do. Shall we be off?
What do you mean by we have much to do? Who exactly are you?
Yes, we. First person plural, in this case collective. I could lend you this excellent book on grammar. But wait, I'm forgetting my manners. I am Reinhard Manx, scholar, inventor, and sartorial adventurer. I have degrees in advanced thaumaturgical studies and non-Goblinian geometry. Naturally, I also have a grounding in the classics, but more importantly to you, I am descended from the Grand Mage Merrick, a legionnaire through and through.
That would make him the last of Merrick's line. He must have great potential as a mage.
Well, needless to say, it's been my dream to reunite with other children of the 10th Legion. Second only to the dream of a thaumaturgical waistcoat that can change its color and cut to match the latest season's fashions.
How have you lived in Stonebridge all this time? I thought this town had a bad history with the Legion.
Had I trumpeted my lineage, we would have seen democracy in action. The ballot would have been whether I would be lynched or dissected, but still... I used to dream that the Legion would rise up from the ashes. But I also dream of square circles, so make of that what you will. The people of Stonebridge may have committed a terrible crime against the Legion, but I think it's time to forgive and rebuild.
Forgiveness is an old virtue of the Legion. I'd say your heart is in the right place.
In all my studies of time, I found that you can coil it, twist it, bend it, but it always unwinds the same way. Hatred can't undo the past, so why hold a grudge? Why bother defending Ebb if you can't accept that its people will make mistakes? And of course, forgiveness facilitates the open exchange of ideas. It's hard to have a symposium with a lynch mob.
You said you were a scholar, but have you seen any combat?
I'm hardly the mage that my great-grandfather was, but I was best in my class when it came to channeling and energy manipulation. I may possess a physique best described as suety, but by application of higher non-Goblinian mathematics, I could rip a man in half with a thought. Well, theoretically I could. It's not as though I practice on people. That would be rather rude, and mildly illegal, but mostly rude.
If you have Legion blood, why didn't you join us at the gathering?
Oh, you mean the invitation calculated to lure all the Legion descendants into one place? You must be joking. That was obviously a trap. One would have to be suicidal, or at least a great buffoon, to walk into that sort of setup. Oh my, do forgive me. I should have realized. I meant no offense. But in any case, no, I regretfully declined when that letter arrived.
We need everyone in the Legion to join forces. Are you with us?
Am I with you? Does the thaumaturgical constant Q trend towards infinity for given values of the human soul? The answer is yes, by the way. The Legion needs to stand together, lest we fade into memory. So without further ado, let's be off.
I should thank you for resolving the matter of the Krug. Such a small issue, but it required an outside voice.
Do you have another problem for me to mediate?
Yes, I do. Baron is a wealthy landowner with a claim to many parcels of land here in town. He wants to charge rent to Hans. Hans has an equally compelling claim to the plot of land. Mudgutter informs me it's a case of eminent domain versus original acquisition. With the court deadlocked, both have agreed to let you settle their dispute. I'll have them meet you at the chapter house.
Poor thing wasn't a Krug at all, just a terribly ugly man. It's good that he was set free. Can't jail a man for frightening children.
They're here. I'm Hans. This is Baron. We have a disagreement, and we decided we'd abide by whatever decision you make.
Indeed. Years ago, the Legion settled disputes, and Hans and I have a conundrum that Stonebridge law can't resolve.
We have a moment to listen to your dispute. Since you're both willing to abide by the decision, we'll mediate as best we can.
I purchased a parcel of land 15 years ago, and have been selling my wares for ages. The Baron here tells me I owe him rent.
You see, I bought large tracts of land back in the days of the farmer. Hans was taken by a charlatan. I certainly didn't authorize the sale.
Yes, well, you did nothing to stand up for your claim to the land. After endless talk with the barristers, we're still deadlocked.
Baron, tell me more about your claim to the land.
By right of original acquisition, the law says the land is mine. I bought it first. Sure, it was human lifetimes ago, but first is first. I am an old goblin, so years pass like months for me. I didn't notice Hans had set up shop and claimed my land as is until recently. I think I'm being fair. He owes me rent for the last several years, and if he wants to stay, he needs to keep paying rent or he can leave.
Hans, can you explain why exactly you think your claim is stronger than the Baron's?
My purchase to the land was vetted and signed by the city of Stonebridge. They failed to research the land's original ownership. But even so, I can claim the right of eminent domain. I've used the land for over 10 years, with no argument from the original owner. I feel terrible that the Baron's land was sold out from under him, but he had ample time to correct this mistake.
I see. The laws are indeed at an impasse here, but I've come to a decision.
So what will it be? Is the land indeed mine, or does this human get to claim it?
The land wasn't Hans's to buy, but the Baron did nothing to protect his claim. You must divide the property or buy out the other's stake.
I guess that's about as fair a ruling as you could make. Also a coward's decision. But I said I'd honor it, so I will.
I can't fit my shop on half of that parcel. But I suppose I should be happy for anything. Thank you for taking the time to arbitrate this.
A deal is a deal. Hans, let's go figure out which half is yours and which is mine. Hopefully we don't need someone to arbitrate that.
Or excrete in alleyways. Please do not litter or excrete in alleyways.
A human generation has gone by without the Legion here to settle disputes. At last, that tradition returns to Stonebridge. I know you have evil to smite, so it means a lot to me and to the city that you can take time for the little things. Here's a little something for your efforts. Now be careful out there.
Step right up, friend. I've got all manner of weapons and gear.
so fast, Legionnaire. None shall pass this gate without the express authorization of the wise and beneficent Meisters of Stonebridge.
We're going to the Crypts of the Sacred Blood, at Meister Mudgutter's request.
I see. More soldiers of fortune to clean up the Crypts of the Sacred Blood. I was instructed to let you pass. It must be very pleasant in the crypts. Everyone who has entered them decides to stay there permanently.
Hello there, friends. Looking for anything in particular?
How is business on this side of town?
It's a living, but not by much. Can't turn my back for a minute or folks seem to wander off with my goods. But don't let my ranting and rambling ruin your day. Give a holler if you want something.
Second? See, I built this automaton, and it might have gone into a bloodthirsty frenzy of violence, maybe. If you could do me a favor, I figure it'd be in everyone's best interest if it got smashed up without involving the local authorities. Last thing I need is to have the Sweatcog brand name lose its immaculate reputation for safety.
What sort of name is Sweatcog?
Engineering is 10% innovation, 20% math, and 80% perspiration. Sweatcog is a proud name. Don't mock it.
Can't you just shut it off?
Oh, I thought of that. Problem is, I thought of that after I built the construct. So, the only off switch it's got involves smashing it.
We'll take care of it. Just tell us where it is.
Excellent. You'll find the automaton on the other side of town. Just try to deal with it before it causes too much trouble. If you stop it, come on back and I'll pay you for your efforts. Good work, my friends. I'll need to remember to install a safety switch on my next construct. Here's your payment. Now, something's been bothering me. Nothing in my schematics would have allowed for hostile tendencies. I think someone tampered with my construct. I don't have any rivals that hate me that much, but I have had quite a few parts go missing recently.
We can look into the matter for you.
All I ask is that you keep an eye out for any of the automaton parts that have gone missing. If you find such a construct, kindly bring me back some parts. Simple enough. Well, thanks again. Take care.
Ah, good. I thought I'd find you here. I heard the Legion was back in town, and I've been scampering to get my old notes in order. You see, I've been archiving the history of the 10th Legion in Stonebridge. A sad history, to be sure, but my research can help you.
Go on. What kind of research do you mean?
I've studied the event of the local Legion's demise, the riots. I've kept track of many looters and killers that profited on that day. Some who looted the chapter house proudly displayed their ill-gotten gains, showing off stolen Legion property to house guests. Such arrogance. Well, I have kept track of these pompous criminals, especially the ones who insisted they'd be buried with their trophies.
You spent all this time investigating the Legion's rightful properties. We're in your debt. Where are these artifacts?
I, for one, respect what the Legion did for our kingdom. I'm just doing my part to honor their memory. I've assembled a list of graves that should contain stolen property. Problem is, the crypts have become too dangerous of late. Here, take my notes. Unless the thieves have started looting coffins at random, you should be able to recover the stolen items.
A shame no one confronted these looters while they lived. But at least we can recover what they took. Here are the stolen automatons. But where are they being sent, and why? Something dangerous is near. A gang of thieves. Mudgutter was right. A mechanical bridge. It must be controlled by that lever. Someone has rebuilt those automatons, and now they follow the thieves. Be judged. done. Now let's find the Master Thief before he slips away. odds are against us here.
spent a small fortune hiring every cut, purse, footpad, and ruffian this side of Rukkenval. Great deal of good it did me.
By order of the Meisters, and in the name of the Legion, you're under arrest. Surrender now and come quietly.
The certainty of being executed by the city or the possibility of being killed by some righteous vigilantes? I'll choose the latter. Maybe the boss will give me a bonus for gunning. Enough. I know when I've met my match. Spare my life, and I'll go quietly.
If you tell us what you've been doing down here, the Meisters might not hang you.
The dapper old gent hired us to abscond with the city's automatons. We tear them up, turn them over to the gent, he pays us good coin. I guess he's selling the damn things on the black market, but it's none of my affair. It's hard to carry those metal brutes very far, so we set up here, in the crypts. The locals don't come down here. Not anymore.
One more question. How do I find the dapper old gent?
Best of luck to you, friend. I've sent people to follow him, but it's been no use. He's like a ghost. My men will trail him to a dead-end alley, and like that, he'll be gone. He finds me, I never seek him out.
Constables will be coming to arrest you. If you try to run, we'll hunt you down.
I told you all I know. Leave me be.
Did you see? That thief showed no fear of prison, even though he will certainly hang. The thief must be sure that something will happen, and someone will set him free.
So, my research was put to good use. I'm glad the artifacts are back in the hands of the Legion.
Well, look at that sprocket! A magic command from afar can click this little widget in place and disable conflict resolution inhibitors. Clever indeed, but I'm sure I could craft a countermeasure. Listen to me ramble. Here's your reward. Now, if you'll pardon me, I need to formulate my schematics. Good day.
Hello there, friends. Looking for anything in particular?
We seem to have found something of yours. A shipment of goods.
Bless you. I was wondering what became of that shipment. I can't thank you enough.
We're glad to help. If you have any more trouble, our chapter house is always open to you.
Aye, the folks around here don't have a fine history with the Legion, but I hope that'll change. Now really, I must insist on paying you.
Back at last. Several of the thieves have surrendered and offered statements of confession. I've been reading them. Interesting indeed. The automatons cost the city a fortune to build. No doubt their components sold for a hefty sum. If the gent is actually selling them, that is.
You don't think he means to sell the automaton parts?
Well, if he was raising money to fund his illegal operations, there are less convoluted ways of doing so. I hypothesize that he's trying to get a closer look at our automatons. To what end, I cannot say.
So I trust we can count on your vote?
I am a goblin of my word. Of course, you will have my vote. And one thing more. Legally speaking, you were deputized by a Meister to administer discretionary justice. In other words, I owe you fair recompense. And with this, our contract regarding the matter of the missing automatons is complete. Do remember that this payment is taxable income.
Taxable? Is this some sort of goblin humor?
It's all enumerated in the Stonebridge Franchise Tax Board Omnibus Spending Codex. I'll give you next year's copy.
The Legion isn't a business. You expect me to pay taxes?
You should count Odo and Giscard as dependents and keep receipts for all spoils of war. I'll expect your filing by the 1st of next year. Now, if you'll give me a moment, I'll find the sub-schedule for arcane expenses. Hold on. Let me see where I put that.
So the Legion has come looking for my vote. These are perilous times. An entangling alliance is hardly prudent. But I forget my manners. I am Rorik Castle, City Meister and Factol of the Ironmongers.
What does your guild do?
We smelt ore, forge steel, and craft tools for the city's artisans. Most importantly, we oversee the operation of the city's foundry. The foundry is the wellspring of our city's prosperity. We keep the economy in motion, and we are the drumbeat of progress.
Well, clearly the gears of the world revolve around your little smithing club.
Without the foundry, the city is powerless. No lights, no turning gears, no industry at all. And to tell the truth, we have a problem. Perhaps you noticed that the city's gears are not moving. It's the blasted Cyclopses. They were docile workers for years, but something in them snapped, and they've brought the foundry to a standstill.
Why would they do this? Do you have any idea?
None at all. But I'm not involved in the day-to-day supervision of their work. Speak to my foreman, Mr. Snell, at the foundry. He will explain our predicament in greater detail.
Sorry, my friends, the foundry is closed for an undefined amount of time. We do regret any inconvenience this may cause.
The 10th Legion is at your service. Just tell us what's going on.
What a blessing! The city's automatons can't handle the heat of the foundry, and we ironmongers are craftsmen, not constables. The Cyclopses have gone mad. They've killed a few of our foremen, and the gears of the foundry have stopped. We spotted goblin agitators inside as well. And if that wasn't enough, the fire elementals that power our furnaces have gotten loose.
I need to ask you a few questions before I go inside.
Of course, anything. Just ask.
These goblin agitators you mentioned, do you know who hired them or what their plan is?
They wore no official heraldry and made no statements of allegiance. We give tours of the foundry. I'm sure that's how they got in. The Cyclopses haven't killed them, so for all we know, they're working together. Perhaps they incited this madness.
How exactly did these Cyclopses get into the foundry in the first place?
Oh, they've been here for years. And in all this time, they've tirelessly tended the foundry without complaint or commotion. This caught us all by surprise. One moment they were working peacefully, the next, wanton violence.
Do you have any idea why your workers would take over the foundry?
The Night Foreman? The man in charge when this uprising began? I'm afraid he's dead. All our efforts have gone into evacuating the wounded and making sure the Cyclopses don't escape into the city. We're short on facts.
We're ready to help. What would you have us do?
Our attempts to parley have ended in bloodshed. You'll need to pacify them by force. I don't want the Cyclopses eliminated. I just want them to go back to work. So find their leader and humble him. The sooner the foundry is back in operation, the better. If you can restart any of the gearworks below, that would also be a great help.
Step cautious there, Legionnaire. Several of my men never made it out of the foundry.
I've seen fire jackals down there glowing so hot, even the Cyclopses can't control the beasts.
Be wary of the grates. Those fires are even hotter than mine. Die and be judged. judged. Why would they cage those jackals? Perhaps the Cyclopses fear them.
Please help. The Cyclopses have gone mad. They locked us in here and dragged my men off to Azunai knows what awful fate.
I'll free your men. Do you know where they were taken?
The Cyclopses took them. Over there, past the fire grates, on the other side of the chamber. I don't know what they're planning, but those two are like brothers to me. Please, will you help them? Did you find my men? Are they all right?
No, I have...
Please hurry. I'm afraid the Cyclopses have some dire plan for them.
Thought I was a goner for sure. I need to get to the surface and let my family know that I'm not dead. I owe you one, Legionnaire.
saints bless him. I knew Olbert would send someone for me. Thank you, stranger. Now, I'm gonna make a run for it while I still can.
You are the ones who fight for the Ironmonger dogs. This boundary is ours now. We'll never be slaves again.
The other Cyclopses attacked us on sight. We had to defend ourselves.
You took the side of the bosses. You want to enslave us, to make us work without pay, just like the paper says.
What paper are you talking about?
An old man gave the paper to me. He called it a manifesto. He said we deserve a better life. We have the right to refuse to work, to demand better pay.
If you tell your brothers to stand down, we'll talk to Meister Castle.
I will trust you to go to the Ironmongers, to decide how best to end this fight. It is only by your mercy that we live. We will accept whatever judgment you make.
Meister Castle did not tell us the whole story, it seems.
are not worthy. You are finished! Surely you must be joking, Meister Fiddlewick. I shall not reward the slaying of my guild members with salaries and contracts. If these beasts weren't vital to the operation of the Foundry, I'd charge every one of them with murder, and they could all go to the gallows.
Funny that you mention legal action. Last I recall, slavery was a criminal offense in Stonebridge. Shall we take this matter to the courts?
You weren't honest with me, Meister Castle. The Cyclopses didn't go mad. They were fighting for their rights.
What are you talking about? The Cyclopses turned violent and killed my people without provocation. Is that what they told you? That this was a work strike?
I didn't expect to find you both here. What's this all about?
Now that you've done Castle's dirty work and violently ended the strike, he wants to dishonor the dead by maintaining the status quo.
Those beasts went mad. Don't try to rationalize their crimes.
What Meister Castle means to say is that he thinks the Cyclopses are mere animals. I say, anything that has a mind has rights.
The Cyclopses agreed to stop fighting if I speak to you on their behalf.
You... what? What nonsense is this?
Meister Castle is an endless font of courtesy and grace. Go ahead. Thank the Legion for saving your lives.
Yes, thank you for ending the violence. But what do you mean you speak for them? Those beasts are making demands?
The Cyclopses have a manifesto of demands. They want better treatment from now on.
A manifesto? What kind of nonsense is that?
The Cyclops said that an old man gave them the manifesto. But what does it matter where their ideas came from, if their demands are fair?
An old man? The dapper old gent, no doubt. When Wolf hears about this, he's going to give me the "I told you so" of a lifetime.
Why would the dapper old gent care about the Foundry?
The whole economy of Stonebridge rests on the power of the foundries, churning gears, and the cheap metal goods that our forges provide.
The economy of Stonebridge hinges on its workers, not your machines. But yes, the Foundry is a crucial part of our supply chain.
The Foundry needs to reopen, one way or another. I speak for the Cyclopses, so whatever I say, they will honor.
Well then, something good came of all this violence. My good Legionnaire, tell the Cyclopses that they may resume work as salaried employees.
Shut your goblin spout! They agreed long ago to servitude as payment for their crimes. They cannot just ignore a contract.
Meister Fiddlewick, you clearly favor the Cyclopses. I'd like to hear your side of the argument.
For years, this city has flourished, largely at the expense of the Cyclopses, slaving away in the Foundry. Castle used you. He told you the Cyclopses had gone mad so you would enforce his profit margin. Why do you think he lied to you? There is nothing subtle about my argument. The Cyclopses are thinking, reasoning beings and should not be slaves to any man or goblin.
Meister Castle, you said the Cyclopses agreed to servitude?
Years ago, long before the Legion fell, a tribe of Cyclopses wandered down from the mountains and raided the town. At great cost, the people of Stonebridge bested them. Their chieftain agreed to a lifetime of servitude to spare his people from the noose. Yes, I profit from their work, but so does the whole city. A contract is a contract. We can't ignore rules and laws, not even old ones.
I've heard enough. I'm ready to decide.
My hands are tied. The Cyclopses will listen to you and you alone now that you've beaten them. I pray you make the right choice.
And I, for one, respect the old tradition of letting the Legion be the mediators of best resort. I know you will choose rightly.
The Cyclopses acted in self-defense. They must be given fair wages and treated with respect.
What? Nonsense! The Cyclopses are bound by an agreement. If you wanted my vote, you just lost it. Bah! Tell them I will negotiate their wages. This decision is foolish, but I won't have the Cyclopses leave. The city needs them.
He'll calm down eventually, but you have my thanks, and I pledge my vote to you when the time comes.
Terribly sorry. Meister Castle has insisted that we have no further dealings with the Legion. Castle believes you capitulated to the demands of thugs. But I am grateful for your help. More of our colleagues would surely have died if not for you.
We fixed the gears as well as we could. The foundry is impressive when it comes to life.
True. The whole city relies on the power of our furnaces and gears. Here's a little something for your trouble.
Did you find my men? Are they all right?
Yes, they're safe.
They are? Azunai bless you, and all the saints as well. I wish I had more to reward you with, but this is all I can give.
I didn't help you for a reward, but if you mention this to Castle, we'd appreciate it.
Your generosity knows no bounds, my friend. I'll tell Castle, and I'll raise a glass in your honor next time I'm drinking with my mates. I'm glad I caught you. There's trouble all over Stonebridge.
The automatons, they've gone mad. They're tearing the city apart. Everything was quiet a few hours ago. One moment they were fine, the next they just changed. As if someone took control of them. It's been less than an hour, and they've already taken the main square. They're fighting like an army, working together, attacking every person they see. What happened to all the people? They're hiding indoors. A few are still on the street, and I'm trying to keep them safe. We're sheltering people in the chapter house, too. Odo's barred the doors. All right. What's our plan? The automatons are headed for the city hall. You've got to warn the Meisters. Save them if you can. I'll be all right. Go.
Whoever is behind this has much plan.
The Gent, he was here. As soon as you entered the hole, he fled.
You don't seem hurt. What about the other Meisters?
Just a few cuts and bruises. My own automatons held the doors and kept the enemy at bay. The Gent never got to my constables. Bad luck for him.
The Gent was here? Did he speak to you?
He threatened us. Told us he was going to bring down the city. The madman said we deserved it.
He fled on foot?
No, he opened one of those shimmering doors, just over there in the corner.
A causeway. We should follow and catch him by surprise.
Simply do not give up, do you? How much did the Meisters pay you to finish what they began 30 years ago? Tell me, what price does my blood fetch? No matter. Whatever the sum, you will not live to collect. All of Stonebridge will...
If we do not use the machines, the automatons will overwhelm us.
All of Stonebridge will burn.
destroy that strange machine.
Surrender yourself, gent. By all the saints, your judgment is long overdue.
Judgment? By what right? The people of Stonebridge are guilty of far worse crimes than mine. I spit on you. Murderers and traitors, all.
Murder and betrayal? Who do you accuse?
Not you. I've not seen your face before, and you are a mystery. No, I speak of these merry meisters in their pretty clothes and all the people of Stonebridge. They tore open the doors of our chapter house, dragged us into the streets, murdered my brothers, my sisters, the whole damned Legion.
You were there? You actually saw what happened?
I was there. I saw these people with my very own eyes. Watched them slaughter legionnaires who refused to fight back.
Many joined the mob, sir, but many more did not.
Half your people stood by, while the other half did murder. Did you hold the killers to account? No? Then you share in their guilt.
And the people who killed the legionnaires? They were never tried for murder? None of them?
What could we do? Arrest half the city? Even the constables had sided with Jane and her mobs.
If you claim to be a legionnaire, then tell us your name.
Archambault du Payen, senior apprentice to the Grand Mage, last survivor of the Legion.
No, not the last. Look at me, brother. We stood at Hearthfire together 40 years past, spoke the rights, and made our oaths to the Legion.
I remember you. Odo, the tracker, the tireless scout, the watcher of roads. How can this be? In my dreams, I saw the whole Legion dead, scattered around a great tree.
You and Odo were friends?
No, I hardly knew him. I was a mage apprentice. Odo was a scout of sorts.
Scout is a kind word for what I was.
You saw a tree. Was it full of ravens?
Just as you say. Sometimes I see my fallen comrades scattered about its base, an army of corpses, rotting in a foul and twisted wood. Every time I close my eyes, the dream is there.
What about the radiant youth? The child with golden hair? Have you ever met him at the tree?
No. I saw him only once, at my induction into the Legion. Odo was there, and saw him too. I thought he'd turned his back from us. Or just from me.
You're a criminal. But you're a legionnaire as well.
Hand him over to me and I'll see that he gets a trial. He'll hang, I expect, but that's a quick death. Better than he'd get if we tossed him to the people.
Wait, he's a legionnaire. He's one of us. And he's a mage. If we give him to the town, all his knowledge is lost.
This man is a criminal, sir. He tried to ruin our city, and who knows how many lives he took. Would you let him walk free?
We need more information before we decide what to do with him.
Ask your questions. I'm sure the constable will be eager to learn how I eluded him so very many times.
Why attack Stonebridge? What did you mean to achieve?
To leave these people as they left me. Ruined, defenseless, alone. Their fine city lying in pieces around them. Who else could demand satisfaction for my brothers and sisters?
The Meisters would never have listened if I had gone before their courts. I was one man, alone, and my survival was inconvenient at best.
Did you intend this all along? 30 years?
No. I only meant to steal back the treasures that they plucked from the Legion's corpse. Tomes of magic. Heirlooms that belonged to friends. But I gained a reputation. I learned that one man can be as fearsome as an army if he cultivates a legend around himself. Only in the last 5 years did I dare to dream of the city's fall. And I came close, did I not? I may have failed, but they will never forget.
Witnesses said you could disappear at will. You've been hiding the causeways?
The Legion left many causeways behind. No one knew they existed, save for me. But they couldn't always take me where I needed to go. The Foundry, say, or a troublesome Meister's estate. So I created causeways of my own. Not a simple art to learn. And when I hang, as I assuredly will, the knowledge shall die with me.
You lived 30 years in the causeways? Did you ever come out?
When I wished to come out, I did. The constables were looking for a well-dressed old gentleman, because that was what I allowed them to see. If I dressed as a workman or a clerk, darkened my hair with pitch, I could escape their eyes.
So, you moved about the city with ease, kept an eye on the constables without their knowledge.
Sometimes I clothed myself in rags and tottered about the main square. No one gave me a second look, and I could observe my enemy at leisure.
That beggar! The fellow who shouted rude names at me whenever I drilled the automatons in the square? That was you?
Was it? I'm sorry, Constable. I don't recall.
The trouble in the Foundry, the Automaton Rebellion, that was all you're doing?
My designs, yes. For their execution, I must give some credit to the people of Stonebridge themselves.
Are you mad? The people of Stonebridge? How are we to blame?
If not for your cruelty and greed, would the Foundry workers be so quick to rise up? If not for your murder of the Legion, would you need an army of automatons to defend you? I took what you gave me, Constable, and I turned it against you.
Did you mean to launch the Automaton Rebellion when you did?
No, you forced my hand. I'd hoped that the trouble in the Foundry would last a few more weeks, and I'd have time to turn all the automatons against the city. As it was, I turned half to my side at best. Not near enough.
You used the criminals in the crypts. They abducted the automatons and you modified them.
Yes, you have it exactly. A slow and painstaking affair, but my accomplices were more than willing. Reputation has its benefits, even in criminal circles. Simple enough to bend one's admirers to one's will. Learning how to exert control over the automatons, that was the challenge. Fortunately, I was able to steal as many books from the college as I liked. And I had my own magical knowledge to draw upon, too. It took some experimentation and a few ruined automatons, but I learned.
All right, I'm ready to make a decision.
The gent is your prisoner by rights. What shall we do with him?
Meister Wolf, the prisoner is yours. Whatever you do with him, the Legion will support you.
If he had pursued only the guilty, it might be different. But the innocent suffered as well.
I will surrender quietly, Constable, so long as you promise me this. Face your past. Deliver justice for my brothers who died on your streets.
You have my promise. Meister Mudgutter and I will find the ones who killed legionnaires, if they still live. And they will be held to account. After all this, the Council can hardly refuse an alliance with the Legion. The people will accept nothing less. But we must put the matter to a formal vote. I'll convene the Council at once.
Was this then what the Legion had become? A bitter old man bent on revenge? I didn't want to believe it. The Gent was a true man of the 10th, and its ideals still lived in his heart. But one of those ideals is that no man is above the law, and the Gent had committed terrible crimes against the people of Stonebridge. Homes destroyed, streets choked with ash, great machines reduced to scrap. For these things, the Gent would be held to account. So it was that the dapper old Gent was delivered into the custody of the Meisters to face the city's justice. The laws of the Legion were upheld, and the people of Stonebridge have pledged themselves to us. Yet I cannot help but feel that we have lost a valuable ally.
Gentlemen and goblins, order! Council will address the proposed alliance with the 10th Legion.
Circumstances have indeed changed since we last spoke. I now find myself addressing the savior of our city. Does the Legion envoy have anything further to say before a vote is called?
Our purpose is to serve the people of Ebb, not to impose our will upon them. We'll honor whatever decision you make.
Very good. No reason to postpone our decision any further. All those in favor of the alliance vote aye. Those opposed vote nay.
First Constable votes aye.
Chief Barrister votes aye.
Guild of Ironmongers reminds the Council of the considerable cost of the events in the Foundry. Are we now to pay for the Legion's war as well?
First, the Guild abuses its workers. Now it votes against the savior of our city? I wonder what the people will do when they hear. And I promise that they'll hear.
Guild of Ironmongers respectfully abstains.
Master of the College votes aye.
3 votes in favor, 1 abstention. As mayor of the city, I shall join the majority and vote aye. Be it resolved, then, that an alliance is declared between the city of Stonebridge and the 10th Legion. May our enemies tremble with dread.
I'd like to thank the Council. The Legion will call on you soon.
Of course. As our ally and savior of the city, the Legion is always welcome here.
I believe we promised to investigate those who committed crimes against the Legion. Several culprits have confessed, but I need a plaintiff. I have 3 outstanding legal matters, charges of theft and murder. In accordance to Stonebridge law, the wronged party must press charges. In other words, the city cannot convict until the Legion serves the guilty party with intent of justice.
Why did the city not pursue these cases earlier? I have a hard time believing you only recently found out these men were guilty.
Yes, well, the events of 30 years ago were a miscarriage of justice. I can't make excuses, but I can reopen the casework.
Why can't the city take these people to court? If the victim has to be alive to press charges, how do you ever go to trial for murder?
It's called the Rusk-Ketzler Clause. Started when some drunken braggart wrote a pile of accusations in his will. Hundreds were dragged through needless court trials. The law now requires a next of kin to willfully enact charges from dead claimants. We needed a next of kin of the Legion to move ahead with these charges, and, well, you're the first Legionnaire we've met in years.
If these people committed crimes against the Legion, we'll find them. Give me the details.
There are 3 offenders. Frederick Pratz, charges of theft. Rudolph Maxwell, theft and murder. Wenzel, charges of murder. As inheritor to the Legion, I give you right of accuser in these matters. Press charges or drop the claims as you see fit. These court filings will tell you where the offenders may be found. I leave it to you to decide settlements or charges.
I'll hear what they have to say and return with my verdicts.
Our business is concluded then. Good day to you, Legionnaire.
The Queen will need our help, and soon. We should take the causeway to Glitterdelve as quickly as we can. Gears are turning again, all over the city.
Hello there. Not everyone wanders Stonebridge armed to the teeth, so I'm assuming you're the Legionnaires everyone's been talking about. Where are my manners? The name's Rudolph Maxwell. What can I do for you today?
Might I ask how old you are? I may have the wrong man.
4 years. I only just finished my apprenticeship. Wait a minute. You're looking for my father, aren't you? Is this about his role in the riots? That happened before I was born, but I inherited that bastard's forge, so I guess I inherit his debts. So, the man you're looking for is dead, but I'll settle his mistakes. What did he steal? What do I owe you?
That's noble of you. But if the guilty party is dead, there's nothing to be settled.
Much obliged. You're not the first to track me down on account of his sins. About time I got my name changed. Well, good luck to you. Glad the Legion is back in Stonebridge.
back again. What can I do for you?
I have legal papers indicting you on charges of looting. Care to explain your actions?
What? That's ridiculous. I wasn't even living in Stonebridge when the chapter house was sacked.
That's strange. Who said anything about the chapter house? A guilty conscience is a terrible accomplice.
I guess it was going to come to this eventually. I had a good run, it feels like a lifetime ago. But I took part in that terrible riot. I stole several artifacts from the chapter house, but I don't have them anymore. I sold them all, used the funds to open my shop. I regret my actions, but not the life it afforded me. I'll fight you in court if you press charges. Or we can settle this some other way.
Trying to buy justice? Not a chance. I'll have Barrister Mudgutter issue a summons. Good luck in court.
And who would testify that I was actually there? Fine. If this is how you want to end this, so be it.
or excrete in alleyways. Please comply with all local laws and customs.
Hey, do I know you? I think you owe me a drink. Because I need a drink.
Wenzel? 30 years ago you served as a watchman for the city, did you not?
Aye, that's me. Do you know me? Because if you know me, you'd know it's my birthday. We should celebrate. You got any rum?
No, I don't have any rum. I'm here about charges of murder.
Huh? Murder? I haven't done it. You must be mistaking me for... Who are you? This about that Legion? I spit on the Legion, dirty sons of whores, I tell you! Remind me who they are again? Oh, wait. Hold on. I think I'm gonna vomit. No, never mind. It passed. Hey, who used my pants as an outhouse?
Wenzel, you'll be spending your last days on trial for murder. A constable will be coming to arrest you.
If justice had found him sooner, he might never have been reduced to this.
What? Who are you again? Did I tell you about the time when catskin hats were in fashion? I need to find somewhere to sleep.
Do not litter or excrete in alleyways.
Good day to you, Legionnaire. Let me know when you followed up on those legal matters.
Wenzel and Frederick should stand trial for their crimes. Rudolph is dead. I spoke with his son of the same name, so that matter is closed.
Finally, we can bring justice long overdue. I'll prepare the evidence and brief my barristers. Here is fair compensation for your time. Now, if you'll excuse me, a very rich lady just died and left her belongings to her cats, and I am pursuing a very complicated lawsuit against them.
or excrete in alleyways. Please comply with all local laws and customs.
too bad about the gent. The man had a brilliant mind.
Everyone's talking about the Legion. You've won the city's heart.